Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Winds of Change. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can go on Steam. On last Let's Play, we did Sovi's last couple of Heart to Hearts, where he taught us some things, and it gave him a pen, which emotionally was like, yay. Also, we talked with Ulrich, talked about his immortality, and we got rid of his immortality because he asked us and he's our husbando. But it did seem kind of quick. It didn't seem like there was any bright flash of light. It was just like, well, he held it, and then before he left, we got rid of his immortality, so yay. I wonder if this is a choice kind of thing of immortality, like, hey, if I choose the right thing, loyalty. If I choose the right thing, then we'll get loyalty. If I choose the wrong thing, then we don't. I would like to reserve the right to mulligan if somehow I choose wrong. But I feel like I would choose right? If there's a right and wrong answer. This leads me through Museo, some sort of hidden cove area. There's a large ship, and it looks like some sort of dock, with no signs of life. Stashes of treasure lay about. It's apparent that this place has been abandoned.
After we returned, I got talking to the pirates. You know, to pick up any information on our parents. It turns out this is their base of operations. Their HQ.
Did no one come here for the treasure?
Kind of funny, isn't it? We both ended up having HQs in Museo. But, to be honest, that's where I'd like the similarities to end. The more I learn about them, the more I hate them. They kept running off to Museo and left us in Salus's hands. Now that I think about it, he raised us more than they ever did. I guess they were more interested in this life of piracy. It's awful.
She looks around the cove, taking in the environment.
I wanted to come here with you to face the truth. Our parents were bad people. There's no denying it. They wanted this to be their legacy, rather than us.
She starts to walk around the area, and I follow behind her.
Look at all this junk they valued more than us. Weapons, money, more money, and lame scrolls. Maps to some far-off treasure and riches, I'm sure.
Can we hire a mercenary army? With all this treasure? Just saying. I mean, there's also a ship here. I mean, granted, how long has it been? 20 years? The ship would probably be in quite bad disrepair. Maybe the weapons, but I think the treasure would be fine. Mercenaries? We could hire the, people that didn't follow, Vivian and would have picked that were with the other guy. And we could hire the, pirates that, you know, went with the other pirate. Picking up a handful of coins, she throws them into the nearby water. Hey, we could use that!
Sorry for going off like that. It just makes me really angry. We idolized them for so long, thinking the world lost good people. But to realize that maybe the world is better off without them? It's hard. Anyway, thanks for coming along with me. I just thought it would be good to do this together. I don't know how Fortaime would handle it, if I'm honest.
She turns to face me with a hint of smile on her face.
You know, I realized I'm different from all of these rebels. They've been living oppressed in the shadow of the triumvirate. But it was never the triumvirate that held me back. It was always myself. I wanted to be a person who could make my parents proud. I wanted to do what society demanded of me. I wanted to be perfect. But this is a real wake-up call. Nobody is perfect. We're all flawed at heart. To realize that and embrace it, I think that's all I needed to do. I feel like now I can be who I want, and not who other people want me to be. It feels like such a small thing, but a different perspective can change a lot, you know?
I nod.
Well then, wanna take a look around? If we can find anything to help us in Balteus, then it's not a total loss. I'm sure there's something around here that we can take along with us.
Treasure for mercenaries? She starts rummaging around various crates and sacks. I do the same as her, find nothing of note except money. Good help after the war, but right now we need something more.
Hey, look what I found.
She pulls out a pair of daggers and starts inspecting them.
I think I remember these. Back when I was a kid, I swear I saw them. That means they must have belonged to my parents. Or my mother, to be exact. Just an intuition, so I can't say for sure. But I'd be willing to bet that my hunch is correct. Did you find anything good, Monarch?
Money. I shake my head. There wasn't anything of note. Aside from those daggers, none was helpful. Didn't see these swords right here, or this boat, or the money.
What do you say? Should I keep them? Might come in handy when we attack Balteus.
I mean, yeah. Oh, that was a good question, actually. She came here to move on from her parents. Taking their stuff could just be a constant reminder. On the other hand, however, she could make them her own. It was hard to tell whether or not this would help or hinder her in the future. But our final battle upon us, I was afraid I couldn't afford a mistake. Make them your own?
Make them my own, huh? I think I like the sound of that.
She puts the daggers and the leather straps on her back. Turning with a smile, she seems like she's ready to head home.
Well, I guess now I need to focus on the important stuff. What kind of person do I want to be after this war is over? I'm no longer held back by anything, so I guess my dreams are the limit.
She smiles and blushes softly.
And as long as we're talking about dreams...
Taking a step forward, she places her hand in mine. I smile at her and give her a soft squeeze, which she returns.
I never would have dreamed that we'd become this close. We've gone through so much together and become so strong. You're part of the reason I was brave enough to face my past like this. But with my past taken care of, I'd like to look toward the future. And if there's one thing I want the most, it's for you to be a part of it. You know, I keep thinking back to that dance we had. I felt so special. There were so many eyes on us, though. I felt kind of restricted. I mean, I wanted to kiss you. That's what you're supposed to do, right? At the end of a dance, of course. I think it's tradition or something like that. It's just that...
Before she can finish, I step forward and slowly move my face to hers. I stop halfway and wait for her to close distance. Her face is bright red. When her lips touch together, it feels as if the world has stopped moving. This is our moment, just for the two of us. I move my head back and let my hands find their way to hers, her sides. She stammers, looks around the cove, clearly embarrassed and shy.
I guess that does it then. All this time, and I only had to ask. I'm glad to finally know how you feel for sure.
Takes a deep breath of relief, as if a massive weight is now gone. I totally understand. This is a big deal for her, and for me as well.
Should we head back then?
Yay, earn loyalty.
I guess you have other things to tend to. Truth be told, I needed this. Thank you.
I mean... Okay, I'm just gonna kind of hold off that thing here. But it's another thing. I like this voice actress. With that, we're on our way out of the cove. She faced her past at the moment and came out even stronger. I have no doubt that she'd continue to grow into an amazing woman. Before we leave for good, I turn back and look around once more. This is where her parents conducted most of their business? That means this is the closest I've been to them in decades. Goodbye. Morale went up. Let's see, it was like 40, I think? 50. It's weird that it's not the morale of the entire crew, just the morale of these guys, I guess. And now that we've had a little bit of space between, you know, them and now, I would have suggested we bang on top of that pile of money. Now for Fortaime. Fortaime takes me back to Valennorth and look at the grand tree. It makes sense that... Actually, did we get an achievement for that? Oh yeah, earn Valessa's loyalty. Yes. I think there was other kinds of achievements. I'm looking up too much. There we go. Damek takes me back to Valennorth and look at the grand tree. It makes sense that he'd want to accomplish his lifelong dream before the final battle. With those metallic claws he'd found in Museo, I think he would finally achieve what he wanted. And of course, he wanted me to achieve it with him. I'm grateful that he chose me, but I'm also a little worried. Is this really something I could pull off, even with these tools?
Well, I guess this is it. I can't leave for Balteus with any regrets. So I'm finally going to do it. I'll climb the grand tree. And with someone like you, no less. Think they'll talk about this in the history books? I mean, I don't think anybody else has done this before.
Going to be the first.
Here, you need to put these on like gloves. There's another pair that goes on your feet as well. After that, we just climb. We don't need to find footholds. Being able to create them ourselves? Now that's a good invention. I gotta give credit where credit is due. Museans know what they're doing. Don't tell anybody, though. These might very well be under the trade ban.
Like anybody cares? Gives me a quick wink. It's right, though. I won't tell anybody. Alright.
It looks way taller than I remember. I'd try to give you some advice, but I don't have any. With those tools, this should be pretty easy. At least, I hope. Just don't fall, Monarch. I don't know if you could survive something like that. I've fallen from way shorter trees and been in pain for months.
He sure is great at instilling confidence.
Well then, got everything ready? Let's find a good starting point and do this. But remember, it's a race, so no holding back. I want to make sure that we both give it our all. No regrets.
He enters the stance, then implies he's ready to begin. I nod and let him know I'm ready, and assume the same stance. Make our way to the base of the grand tree, and look up. It's the first time I realize how tall it actually is. Would he really be able to make it to the top? I doubt what's up within me, but I don't voice it.
I bet I'll be the first one there.
I remember doing something like this in VR and like something, and I gave up because I think people that I kind of did it with were doing it in desktop mode and I was doing it in virtual reality mode. And maybe I just had a bad technique. I was kind of by myself, but it took. I think I have a video of that on YouTube. It took hours, and I don't think I was even there. Well, like halfway there. That said, he digs his claws into the tree and starts to climb. I watch him for a few moments before replicating his actions to the tree. After a few minutes of doing this, we're extremely far from the surface.
Scared of heights? Make sure not to look down. I, for one, love the view. This is part of why I do it. Hey, no fair! I was taking a breather. Didn't think you'd be the type to play dirty.
No breathing. He laughs as we scale the tree at almost the same rate. Can't imagine doing this without claw-like tools. In fact, they make this pretty easy. There's no risk of falling. It allows me to take a step back and admire Fortaime's skill. He's climbing trees for his entire life, without this kind of aid. I suddenly appreciate his every stumble and fall, his every bruise. As you get higher and higher, we start to get enveloped in the canopy of leaves. Aren't even high enough that they become red, but it's simply an impressive sight. It blocks us from seeing the village below us, but it's beautiful to look at, regardless. It really helps solidify just where we are. We're scaling the Grand Tree. Nobody has done this before, and it's been a dream for decades now. However, due to his challenge, the competitive spirit starts appearing within me. At the rate we're going, I could very well beat him to the top. In fact, if this were a race, that would pretty much be the point. But this is still his dream, and he might deserve the moment. Beat him to the top. And I think I remember seeing something like this at some point. I think I'll let him win. So hopefully he doesn't notice. Because he wanted to be the first one to get to the top of the Grand Tree, right? I decided to intentionally throw my progress. Fortaime deserves to win. I feel like it's only fair. You wouldn't think that he would, you know... I didn't say try and beat him to the top, I said beat him to the top, I think. As you get higher, you reach the blood leaves on high. When you reach the final stretch, I fake a small stumble. I wouldn't stumble, but I would, pretend to be a bit winded and slow down. Nothing to put myself in danger, just enough to cause a slight delay. After Fortaime has gone far enough up, I get myself back on track. It's not much longer before we reach the top, but he's clearly victorious. He laughs as he sits on a massive branch, big enough to support both our weight. I follow him up there, sit beside him, taking in the huge sigh of relief. We did it.
I can't believe we did it, Monarch! And of course, I had a feeling that I'd win. Never think you can rise above the master.
He smiles and inches a bit closer towards me as we sit on the branch.
Look at that view. I know we can't see the village, but these leaves? I never thought I'd get to see them up close like this before.
I feel like what this game really does miss are CGs. Well done images, because I feel like right here, just having you two sit on the thing looking out into the vast distance would be a very good CG. And maybe like another of the arena and stuff like that.
I've only ever seen them when they wilt and fall off. But being up here and seeing them fresh? Wow. I wish I could take some with me, but I know I can't.
He runs his hands through some of the blood leaves, clearly in awe.
You know, this doesn't feel like I thought it would. I thought it'd feel amazing, like I'd become a different person. But I feel just like I did before. I guess that's how things go, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, at least that's one more thing I can cross off my list. A bit anticlimactic, but I don't really know what I was expecting. Maybe it's like Eastcrown, just the allure of the unreachable.
Looks around the area one last time, admiring the view he may never see again.
Well, should we get back down to the surface? I don't want to waste much time up here. We're busy and all that. It means a lot to me that we could share this moment. I'll never forget it.
With that, he starts to climb back down. I follow after him and make our way to the surface. It feels weird to be down here, after being so high up.
So, what's next on the agenda? You know what? Never mind. You do you. I'll be around if you need me for any reason at all.
Yeah, no, probably Pro or Damek. I think they were next on it. You've earned Fontaine's loyalty. Actually, with a big smile on his face. I guess a dream of his came true that day. When you get going back to Valessa, you have no regrets. $60. I thought there was going to be more of this going up, throughout the thing, and that maybe these would be the thing, not entire 10 things. Like, his speech, 5%. Securing an alliance, 5%. Fulfilling these guys' dreams, 10%. So it's just, what was it again? 60? 70, 80, 90, 100, or at least 90. Next is Pro. Gonna figure out, hopefully, what's about that whole me getting stabbed scene. Pro leads me to Museo Town Square without saying much. I'm not sure what's going on, but he seems happier than usual. Things must be going well for him. I hope it's something good. After a while, he rests his back against a nearby house. Tapping his foot, it looks like he's waiting for something.
Okay, Monarch, you're not going to believe this. I got some information about my parents the other day. After pulling a few strings, I was able to set up a meeting.
Oh, this is big. I thought it was going to be just information. That's an actual huge deal. I'm really happy for him.
As far as I know, it's just my dad. I think my mom was under the weather or something. But at this point, I'll take whatever I can get. I'm so excited!
I think I'd be more nervous.
I'll finally get to ask him what happened. Do you think I have any brothers or sisters? Wait, don't answer that. I'll keep my hopes low.
He has a huge smile on his face. I can't understand why. This is something he's been looking for his entire life. The ability to meet his parents and find out why they abandoned him.
I almost don't believe this is happening. For the last decade, I've had eyes and ears everywhere. People run around Museo gathering information for me to sell. I prefer to do all the work myself, but anything extra is a huge benefit. I'm good at selling, so they provide the info, and then we share the profit. When we got back from Alarencia, one of them had a bunch of stuff to share. And one of them was the one piece of information I've been waiting to hear. My parents were alive and living in Museo all those years, and they were so close. I bought the information from him myself. I paid more than I have for anything else in my life. But you can't put a price on this kind of stuff, you know? My future and my heart is on the line. This is a big deal. I hope we don't have to wait too much longer. I'm nervous.
Then you weren't swindled? That much is made evident by his constant rambling. Press my back up against the wall with him, and we wait together. Talk about random subjects, anything to pass the time, for now. After a while, finding topics to discuss becomes a little harder. It's not because our bond is weak, but because we run out of topics. The time of the meeting approached, and then faded away. Nobody arrived.
I guess he's running a bit late. It happens. I can't hold it against him.
Uh-oh. He smiles, and it's an incredibly nervous smile. He knows deep down inside that his words may not be true. A couple more hours pass, but I don't abandon his side, not even once.
Any moment now.
After a while, we slump down and sit on the ground. His naive hope starts to dissipate into a harsh realization. But I can tell he doesn't want to admit it, so he continues to sit. As the sun sets, people start to retreat to their homes. I can tell that he's tired, and so am I. Close my eyes for a few moments. It wouldn't hurt to doze off just a little bit. I just need to make sure I don't leave him. I wake in a while later, unsure of the time. But it's dark. It must be dead of night. Pro rests beside me, snoring softly, asleep. I know that, in his slumber, he doesn't have to face the facts. His dad never came. But why? Was he too afraid to follow through? Pro has a smile on his face. I can tell he's still hopeful, even in his sleep. But he can't sleep forever. He needs to wake up and face this. Giving him a soft nudge, he wakes up, but then my heart's broken. He thinks I woke him up because his dad arrived. He looks around, ecstatic. But then he realizes it's just me and him. His ears fold back, and he laughs, almost like he's not surprised. I knew that this would be hard for him to face, but he was abandoned again.
I guess I should have expected this.
He sighs and crosses his arms.
You know, I thought I'd give them the option. They could come meet me when they were ready and willing. Other than that, my only option was to just march into their home. Of course, my courtesy just ends up stabbing me in the back. He said he'd be here, Monarch. He said he would. And I trusted him!
He growls and punches the nearby wall in a fit of rage.
It's not fair!
He grunts in pain and stands there panting. A few tears start to stream from his eyes.
Why don't they love me?
I step forward and place a comforting arm around his shoulder. He starts crying a bit more, but I let him know that I'm here for him.
I just wanted a family. More than anything, I want to belong. It hurts so much. They don't want me. I want to know why they threw me away. It's all I've ever wanted to know. It's why I do what I do. I don't know if I can live the rest of my life without knowing the truth.
He starts to calm down, and soon enough, the tears fade. I can tell he's super conflicted. He really wants to meet his parents. But if they don't want to meet them, there really is nothing he can do. It's cruel to schedule a meeting and then not follow through. His dad must have gotten cold feet. Or maybe his mother needed attention? Under the weather, could have any number of meetings, none of them any good. Either way, it's evident that this pursuit of the truth is causing him more harm than not. If he wasn't meant to know the truth, then perhaps he should focus on moving forward. After all, he had a loving family in the rebellion. We would never abandon him like this.
I just don't know what I should do.
Well, that's a buggering decision. Because I feel like there might be an explanation. It might just need to go just a little bit further. But then they could always just be, hey, just a little bit further kind of thing. Or letting them go. I mean, I could definitely... Maybe he could just be like, you know what, fuck it. We're gonna move past this. Or maybe not. Like, is this something that we can do? Can't choose this. I just want to see if there's that little extra step we can do so we can find answers, you know? Tell him not to give up. If he gained more info, he could pursue his parents. He's on the right track right now, so he shouldn't give up. He's so close. Even if it doesn't end well, at least he'd finally know the truth.
I never even considered giving up. Although I came close a moment ago. This meeting was definitely a wake-up call. If they won't come to me, then I'll go to them. It might not end well, but at least I'd get some answers. Or maybe I can send one of my men to ask them a few questions. Thanks, Monarch.
He smiles at me. I'm glad I could help him, even if it was only just a little bit.
So, should we get going then? I guess you have a lot of things to do. Given that, I'm really glad that you came with me. I don't know how I would have handled this alone. Having you by my side, it makes me stronger. And if there's anything I need right now, it's strength.
Like, I just don't feel like he would be that close and then be like, he could be like, you know what, fuck it. Not gonna ask anything, you know? With that, we started to walk away from the town square. It pained me to see him go through this. Nobody should feel abandoned. At the end of the day, he had people like me to stand by his side and help. No matter what happened, he'd never be alone. Oh, so that was the negative thing, so you can fail this. Mulligan? Mulligan. Because I was very much on the fence. So wait, if I beat Fortaime at this, if she didn't get the that one I could understand, but really? Boy, that's a lot riding on a decision at the end. Unless I missed something else.
I just don't know what I should do.
I tell him to let go of his parents. He has a true family and all of his allies. Blood isn't what makes you family. It's love, acceptance, and understanding. His parents wouldn't give him that. Then perhaps he should be abandoning them.
Let them go?
He seemed surprised, like nobody had suggested this to him before.
I know, you're right. I've tried, but it's really hard. What happened here today might change things, though. After everything I've tried, maybe this is the wake-up call I needed. Thanks, Monarch.
He smiles at me. Glad I could help him, even if it was just only a little bit.
So, should we get going then? I guess you have a lot of things to do. Given that, I'm really glad that you came with me. I don't know how I would have handled this alone. Having you by my side, it makes me stronger. And if there's anything I need right now, it's strength.
Oh, so you can fail these things. Then we start to walk away from the town square. Pained me to see him go through this. No one should feel abandoned. And then in the end of the day, he had people like me to stand by his side and help. No matter what happened, he'd never be alone. Woof. But yeah, Mulligan. So I have to be extra careful on all these things, except we're out of time. Well, hopefully you guys don't feel too bad on me pulling that mulligan. So anyways, that's going to be the end of this Let's Play. So comment, because I like comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, always. If you like my YouTube and like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos that grow. Please remember to spay near your animals to help control the pet population. I can understand Ulrich, since that's been something that's been on his thing. Valessa, I don't know. I don't know how her keeping daggers or not keeping them would change anything. Fortaime, I don't know. Maybe he might be a little nuts. Maybe he might get his knickers in a twist because his dream was be to first climb the grand tree and then I beat him. Don't know. Balls. Well, until next time, let's play me, GamerWolfSix of Winds of Change. So thanks and see ya.